cases. We are following this story closely. We'll bring you any new details as soon as we learn them. Now to your forecast, meteorologist John Dissauer is here with First Alert 5 for a look at our chilly start to our Saturday. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Greg. Yeah, we've got a mixed bag of temperatures across the area this morning. Some locations, the coldest it's been in 4.5 months. Other locations warmer than where we were yesterday. And in some areas towards Canyon City, we've got some relatively warm temperatures. Take a look at the temperatures across the area. 52 degrees in Canyon City, but down to 32 degrees now in Pueblo, the coldest since May 14th when we were down at 29 degrees. So I don't think we'll quite get that cool, but nonetheless chilly there. And then across Colorado Springs, we've got 45 degrees at the airport, 48 at the Air Force Academy, 48 as well in Payton, now up to 30 degrees in Black Forest, which just about a half hour ago was down to 29 degrees, but also mid-40s in Monument. So as I mentioned, kind of a mixed bag across the area. Also out towards Teller County, we've got temperatures right now sitting in the 30s in Florissant, as well as 34 degrees in Divide, 41 in Woodland Park. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast by 10 o'clock. Temperatures into the 60s in Colorado Springs, mid-50s in Pueblo. Sunny skies by noon of temperatures into the 60s to near 70 degrees. And then by 5 o'clock, we should be up in the 70s with highs this afternoon topping out in the lower 70s to upper 70s. We'll talk more about how long this warm weather lasts because there are changes coming over the next 7 days. I'll tell you when those changes get here coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, John. New this morning, 2 arrests have been made after a stick of dynamite was found during a search warrant at a Pueblo apartment building. Michael Marquez and Veronica Espinoza were both taken into custody. Detectives recovered a shotgun, a handgun, and explosives. Say the shotgun was stolen last month from a Pueblo home. We first told you about this story yesterday when officers first went into the apartment and found a stick of dynamite. It forced a massive evacuation while the bomb squad went in to dispose of the dynamite and search the rest of the place. No one was injured. 4 years, still no answers for the family of a murdered Colorado Springs man. The family of Stephen Wilson says they're not giving up the search for the killer. A cold case detectives say they're not giving up either. News 5's Maddie Garrett is asking what's being done on this case.
Oh, this is a good one when he was with John Starks.
Leslie Smith sorts through old photos.
Just kind of brings back a lot of memories.
Of her son, Stephen Wilson.
We never thought that it would be 4 years later and we still don't have anyone in custody.
4 years ago.
The worst day of my life.
Shot in the head at his own apartment.
I know it won't bring him back, but we need to know what happened.
Wilson's murder is one of about 90 cold cases Colorado Springs police is working.
I believe someone out there knows exactly what happened to Mr. Wilson.
Detective Mike Montes has been working this case for 2 years now.
It's slow, but it's moving forward.
He's still receiving tips and getting to know Wilson's family.
You grow close to him, so it gives you a little more passion to try to solve the case.
He and the family say it's going to take someone coming forward.
You know, anything is important to us. You know, someone might remember seeing somebody, a description, a car.
And they simply ask, don't be afraid to make that call.
If this were your family, you would definitely want someone to speak up and be courageous enough to say, hey, I do know something.
And the only way I'm going to have closure is for someone to be held accountable for this.
Detectives say because of those tips, they are further along in the case than they have ever been. If you think you might know something about Wilson's murder at the Rock Rimmon condos on Delmonico Drive, call Crime Stoppers 634-STOP. Remember, you can remain anonymous. An update to a case of alleged child abuse we've been following for months in Pueblo. Both Sarah and Paul Finn are now facing charges of child abuse resulting in death. This follows the death of two-year-old Chassie Petrolongo. News 5 first told you about this case in August when the toddler was taken from this Pueblo home on East Ormond. Police say that she had head trauma, facial injuries, bruising on her body, and possible signs of sexual abuse. She later died of those injuries. The Finns' next scheduled court appearance is in January. And in Pueblo West, this police officer, Shelly Taylor, has been cleared following a shootout with a woman last month. You might remember Sergeant Taylor was off duty but tried pulling over 26-year-old Christina Ferber because she was swerving. That's when police say Ferber pulled out a gun and shot at her. Taylor fired back and Ferber took off. Police say her body was later found in the trunk of a car in an apparent suicide. Construction crews at America the Beautiful Park ran into a very unexpected hurdle yesterday. A renovation project to expand the park is now on hold after workers found large floor tiles buried about 8 feet underground. Samples of the tiles were sent off for testing and the results came back showing they were loaded with asbestos. The city says the tiles were likely dumped there decades ago before the park was even built. But as that investigative reporter Eric Ross shows us, now they're stuck dealing with the massive problem.
A chain-link fence blocks off a massive chunk of land just a few hundred feet away from where children are playing at America the Beautiful Park. The $320,000 project to expand the park by adding new equipment, trails, and ramps for easier access to the creek will remain a blueprint for now.
As part of our excavation, we encountered a fair amount of concrete that had been buried years and years ago within that berm, but adhered to some of that concrete was floor tile.
Crews were curious about why floor tiles would be buried underneath the ground. Samples were sent off to the state for testing. Days later, the results came back positive.
Certainly public safety is very important to us, and we certainly ask folks to respect that fence that's there, certainly stay out of that construction zone.
Asbestos is not an immediate threat to the public, but can be harmful if people come in direct contact with it. Asbestos fibers are known to cause respiratory problems if inhaled.
We're in the process now of working with the state to really define the best way to manage that material, the best way really to safely and properly dispose of that material.
As a Band-Aid fix, the city installed what's known as a tackifier, a soil stabilizer to prevent the asbestos from spreading any further.
We've done really everything we can to secure the site.
In the meantime, the playground at the park remains open.
It's Eric Ross reporting there. We're told the renovation project could be delayed anywhere from 3 to 6 months. As soon as crews discovered the tile, they stopped digging, so we don't know how much of that area is contaminated. However, we do know 2,000 cubic yards of soil needs to be excavated for this project. The city is working with an environmental consultant to figure out the cost to remove the asbestos and complete that project. A Pueblo tow truck driver is speaking out after nearly being hit by a car on I-25 last week. Tow truck driver Leo Trujillo tells us he was working on a car south of Pueblo near Walsenburg last week when a driver nearly ran him over. The move over law has been on the books since 2007, which requires drivers to either change lanes or slow down for emergency vehicles. That law was expanded to include tow trucks, ambulances, and even highway department trucks, but Trujillo says it's not happening.
You know, I was on the driver's side, winching up a car, and got hurt tires, squeeching, and then clipped my shirt, the mirror.
He's not alone in his frustration. This state trooper was struck just this week by a driver who didn't change lanes. In the first 6 months this year, 23 state patrol vehicles were hit. The penalty for not moving over is a misdemeanor offense similar to reckless driving. The fight against Ebola continues as the first patient with the virus in the U.S. continues to fight for his life. Hazmat teams cleared away items inside Thomas Duncan's apartment yesterday while he remains in an isolation unit. Meanwhile, we're learning that the American journalist who tested positive for Ebola will be flown out of Liberia and back to the United States tomorrow. Here in Colorado, 160 soldiers from Fort Carson are expected to deploy to Africa in a few weeks. They will help build hospitals for patients and caregivers. Before leaving, they'll be specially trained and will have specialized gear to avoid contracting the virus. The Pentagon says it will probably send 4,000 troops, active duty, reserve, and National Guard to help out. That's 1,000 more than first reported. Still ahead, dozens of homeless veterans.
And lots of sunshine outside this afternoon. We're going to see a case of severe clear, but how long does this sunny weather last? We'll talk about that coming up right after this.
The most affordable option in Southern Colorado for a CT scan is Premier Diagnostic.
Call Premier Diagnostic Center for Southern Colorado's lowest cost, low-dose radiation CT scan. Premier Diagnostic Center, first in service, excellence in imaging.
Bob Beaupre. In Colorado, he owned a bank. Then Beaupre went to Congress and supported a law to loosen regulations on banks like his. Then Beaupre sold his bank, but the bank failed to disclose almost $20 million in bad loans. Beaupre walked away with $16 million, but the new bank failed and the government had to rescue it. Bob Beaupre, he's out for the big banks and himself, not you.
The Double Eagle Hotel and Casino is doubling your chances to win a brand new car in October. On Saturday, October 18th and Saturday, October 25th, you could drive away in one of these sporty, versatile, and oh-so-fun 2015 Ford Fiestas. Automatically earn entries all month long as you play. Then join us and the good folks from Phil Long Ford October 18th and 25th for your chance to win.
Double down at the Double Eagle Hotel and Casino.
This is Mia's new Honda CR-V. The same car that will let the world know that she loves rock and roll. With the Econ button that will help her save a little gas when she sees that same barn house the second time. And the Bluetooth that will assure her she can always move back home and pay rent.
Okay, Dad.
Start something special now with the CR-V from KBB.com's most trusted car brand. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
I'm Cory Gardner, and I'm going to tell you something that you've never heard in a political commercial. My opponent, Mark Udall, is a real nice guy. He's a nice guy who will never change the Senate. He is the Senate. 18 years in politics, and he's got 2 cousins who are senators too. Mark Udall's dad even ran for president. My dad, well, he sells tractors, just like my granddad, and I'm darn proud of that. Let's shake up the Senate. I'm Cory Gardner, and I approve this message.
At Premier Diagnostic Center, here's our commitment to you. Expect to save 30 to 60% by using Premier Diagnostic Center versus hospital-affiliated imaging centers. Premier Diagnostic Center, first in service, excellence in imaging.
O'Brien's Carpet One has teamed up with News 5 to bring you your first Alert 5 weather. It's National Karastan Month at O'Brien's Carpet One. Lowest prices of the season now through November.
Welcome back. The time is 7:13 on Saturday morning, and we've got a mixed bag of temperatures across the area. Cool in some locations, mild in others, and for the most part across Colorado Springs, not too bad this morning, especially compared to yesterday morning. We're sitting in the 40s, 45 degrees at the airport in Colorado Springs, 48 at the Air Force Academy, 46 in Monument, but your eyes may be drawn attention to Black Forest, where it's currently 30 degrees. They got down into the 20s again this morning. Even cooler down towards Pueblo, the 32-degree reading there. The coldest it's been since May 14th. So we've got to go back 143 days to find a cooler day when it got down to 29 degrees that morning, but 52 in Canyon City. So again, a mixed bag of temperatures across the area. We've got sunny skies, or I should say clear skies, all across Colorado this morning, and that's going to be the case as we go throughout the day. We're going to have a case of severe clear skies. Head off to the east, though. The cold air that we had yesterday is now pushed well to the east out towards the Midwest and the Great Lakes. And I wanted to show you this. Notice this moisture that's moving around this area of low pressure, reporting of snow, light snow that is, this morning officially in Chicago. This would be the 3rd earliest snow on a record in Chicago since 1884. So they usually don't see it quite this early. Now, stormcast around here, starting at 9 o'clock, clear skies. We'll see sunny skies as we go throughout the afternoon. By 3 o'clock, still sunny out there. And then by 6 o'clock this evening, we'll start seeing clear skies, and clear skies as well by later this evening. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for Pueblo. Temperatures slow to warm through the morning. We're only going to be at 56 degrees by 10, but then we're going to get up into the middle to upper 70s is where we should top out at between 2 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. And if you're heading out for the Air Force versus the Navy midshipman game today, kickoff is at 1:30. Should be a beautiful day for football. Cool for tailgating at 10 o'clock with a temperature of 59 degrees. Noon 64. Game kicks off at 1:30 this afternoon. By 2 o'clock, 68 degrees. By the time the game is wrapping up around 4 o'clock, temperature of around 69. A high temperature at the Air Force Academy should be right around 72 degrees this afternoon. 72 in Monument, 72 in Briargate, 73 degrees in Colorado Springs, and 75 degrees on Fort Carson. Along the US 50 corridor from Canyon City to Pueblo, Pueblo. Temperatures anywhere from around 77 in Canyon City to 78 in Pueblo West as well as in Pueblo. 73 for a high in Colorado City. And over the southeastern plains, temperatures this afternoon getting up into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees out towards La Junta, so much warmer than yesterday. Now over the next couple of days, we're going to see just a slight cool off tomorrow, but we'll still be sitting in the 70s. Then we're back into the 70s and 80s early next week. That continues through Wednesday and perhaps Thursday, and computer models are suggesting a surge of cold air from Canada begins to move south late Thursday into early Friday morning. And it does appear we could have moisture around the area through the day on Friday. With cool temperatures in place, we're talking highs perhaps only in the 40s and 50s. We could have a mix of rain and snow across the area, especially in the higher elevations. The next 3 days for Colorado Springs and for Pueblo. Second half of the weekend, as I mentioned, a little cooler in Colorado Springs, 77 for a high in Pueblo. By Monday, we start warming back up, 70s and 80s. And by Tuesday and Wednesday, we're talking highs in the 70s and 80s, and then that cooler air comes down by next Friday. So then we're going to see, again, much cooler temperatures moving in. Canyon City and Woodland Park for the rest of the weekend. We'll see temperatures in the 60s and 70s, 70s and 80s early in the week, and then again next Friday could get a little interesting. We'll have a chance for some snow, especially up towards Woodland Park if the forecast models are correct.
Yeah, and compared to this morning, that's a really nice warm up. It was chilly this morning.
Yeah, this morning chilly and colder into others because the Canyon City is only in the 50s. Right. So really depends on where you live this morning, and then we should see temperatures warming quickly as we head through the morning.
And we'll take it. Yeah. All right, thanks, John. Coming up, it was a cool night for this week's edition of Friday Football Fever, but that didn't ruin all the action. Greg Meach has the highlights next.
The air conditioning and furnace sale going on now. Save big with 0% financing for 24 months or payments as low as $30 per month.
We'll always be affordable plumbing and heat. You can afford to do it right.
No one can blame you for checking a calendar to remind yourself, yep, it really is 2014. So how is it we're still debating a woman's access to abortion or birth control? For most of us, those debates got settled by the last generation. Yet today, there are still politicians like Congressman Gardner promoting harsh anti-abortion laws and a bill to outlaw birth control. I'm Mark Udall. Those rights and freedoms are yours. We won't let anyone take us backwards. And that's why I approve this message.
Penalty for high prices. Savings are ahead of the game during my year-end clearance sale going on now at Colorado Springs Dodge. We're holding nothing back to put you in the Dodge or Ram you've always wanted. Up to $12,000 off select Ram trucks. New Ram Quad Cab, only $269 a month. All credit apps accepted, and we need your trade no matter what you owe. Score big at Colorado Springs Dodge. And remember, if I can't meet or beat any bona fide deal, I'll give you the car.
Sometimes, the best night out is a fancy night in. Introducing new Gourmet Delights, only at Papa Murphy's. Delicious grown-up ingredients like Angus steak and spicy fennel sausage on a crispy thin crust. Choose from 2 of the new Gourmet Delights, just $10 each. Fresh made, fresh baked, fresh gourmet. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
Have you heard the news? King Soopers and City Market have lowered prices on thousands of items throughout the store. So you'll find new lower prices on the things you and your family love. And with fuel points, you'll get lower prices at the pump, too. Stop in and see how much you'll save with new lower prices and more. Every day at King Soopers and City Market.
Yellow peaches are 99 cents a pound, and bone-in pork loin chops or spare ribs are $1.99 a pound. Great food, low prices at King Soopers.
Amendment 68, extravagant education claims, but no school district endorsements. 68 backers are playing loose with the truth, forced to pull down several ads, misrepresenting support, using a bogus teacher, earning a cease and desist order. Amendment 68 is not about education. It's a Rhode Island gambling scheme opposed by the Colorado PTA. No on 68. A sweetheart deal for Rhode Island, a bad deal for Colorado.
The air conditioning and furnace sale going on now. Save big with 0% financing for 24 months or payments as low as $30 per month.
We'll always be affordable plumbing and heat. You can afford to do it right.
It was a cool night across southern Colorado. Perfect weather for some football. Grant Meach has the highlights of another week of Friday Football Fever.
with a wrap-up of this week's best in high school football, plus our look at the game of the week. Here's Grant Meach and News 5's Friday Football Fever.
We're the Discovery Canyon Cheerleaders, and you're watching Friday Football Fever on News 5.
Well, thank you, ladies, for that last night. Welcome into Week 6 of our Friday Football Fever coverage, just over the halfway point of the prep football season when undefeated records are in jeopardy. Doherty trying to keep their hot streak, just that. But could they keep their emotions in check last night on homecoming? Greg Smith at our game of the week last night with Legend and the Spartans.
Grant, the 10th-ranked Spartans have flown under the radar so far this year, but a win tonight on homecoming will move the Spartans to 6-0 and into the spotlight.
New uniforms for the Spartans tonight, the black home threads for homecoming, and they were feeling the energy in the opening kickoff. Justice Luttrell isn't touched for 40 yards before being pushed out in Legend territory, but the Titans responded with defense. Luttrell on 3rd down and goal, nowhere to go. They go for it on 4th down inside the 5. Luttrell again, nothing. Legend takes over, but they couldn't get anything going either. Have to punt it back to the Spartans. They kick it for an early 3-0 lead. Doherty certainly brought their defense. The screen out to the flat, not working. Taj Mitchell blown up by Dante Wiggins and Chris Paxton, but the offense wasn't capitalized. And look at the acrobatic pick by Kyle Cox. Second quarter now, 10-0 Spartans, only a couple minutes left. It's the last drive of the half. Doherty looking to punt, but they fake it over the middle to Darian Stickney for the first down. That leads to this, under 15 seconds left, another boot from Wiggins, makes it 13-0 at the half. They kept it going in the second half and go on to win it. The Doherty Spartans still undefeated.
So a win, a big game for Doherty, but next week, the biggest game on their schedule, a date with Fountain Fort Carson. At Gary Berry Stadium in Colorado Springs, Greg Smith, News 5 Sports.
Greg, thank you very much. The Broncos will head on against the Cardinals Sunday afternoon. Peyton Manning, 1 touchdown away from 500 in his career. Will also be a reconnection of sorts for Manning and Arizona head coach Bruce Arians. Arians was Manning's quarterback coach for years with the Colts. Manning can remember working with him, and in a way, that's going to help him on Sunday.
It's one thing that I think I do fairly well is I can recall, conversations and answers to questions from a long time ago and situations, and I think that helps you as a quarterback when you can refer to something that happened years ago. So I take it as a compliment, I guess.
Certainly would. Manning would join Brett Favre as the only NFL players with 500 touchdown passes. Simply called a football move for the Broncos. They stunned the collective Bronco Nation by releasing troubled kicker Matt Prater yesterday and sticking with young kicker Brandon McManus. Broncos made the announcement yesterday morning, currently serving a 4-game suspension by the NFL for violating their substance abuse policy for drinking during the offseason. Prater was one of the longest tenured guys on the Broncos roster, and last season he set the longest field goal record in the NFL with 64 yards. More information on his release can be found at KOAA.com. Let's look at your early morning sports. Stick with us at 5 and 10 o'clock tonight on a big college football Saturday. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Grant. After the break, Sheriff Makita accusing county commissioners of a bait and switch with voter-approved money. That story coming up.
At Premier Diagnostic Center, here's our commitment to you. Expect to save 30 to 60% by using Premier Diagnostic Center versus hospital-affiliated imaging centers. Premier Diagnostic Center. First in service, excellence in imaging.
Mark Udall promised to change Washington.
How about a little more independence and a little less partisanship?
Instead, Udall voted with Obama 99%. On Obamacare, Udall promised our health insurance and Medicare would be protected. Just more broken promises. Cancellation notices, cuts to Medicare. His negative attacks? Nonpartisan fact checkers say Udall twists the truth. Udall hasn't changed Washington. It's changed him. Crossroads GPS is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When you think of xeriscaping, do you think of this? Or do you think of this?
Let Rocky Mountain Materials change the way you think about xeriscaping. With water restrictions looming and water rates soaring, xeriscaping could be a more eco-friendly alternative that can save you money. At Rocky Mountain Materials, we have what you need to turn your backyard into a money-saving, water-saving showpiece. Beautiful yards that are easy on your eyes and your wallet. Call Rocky Mountain Materials today and start saving green while you go green.
Drive in, hang out, or cruise on in. It's time to get back to downtown Fountain to eat at Coke's Diner. And we're rocking the hits every night of the week. Steaks cut thick and seared to perfection. Locally grown homemade chili, fresh fish and shrimp dinners. Fried chicken straight from the pressure cooker. And a golden oldies breakfast. You can't see through this bacon, baby. Big bopping portions at the coolest downtown diner. The past is in your future at Coke's Diner in Old Town Fountain.
A year ago, all of this was underwater. Hundreds of miles of roads and bridges destroyed. But we're rebuilding our roads in record time, just like our economy. With 200,000 new jobs, Colorado has the fastest growing economy in the country. And we did it by working together, not by attacking each other. We have more to do, creating advanced manufacturing jobs and balancing energy development with protecting our environment. But we'll get that done too, because Colorado's back.
Hi, I need an appointment for an MRI.
We can get you in 5 weeks.
I need an appointment for an MRI.
Sure, we can get you in today.
Well, I'm busy until 5.
No problem, we have extended hours. How will 6:30 work?
Great.
Welcome back. Some strong words from Sheriff Terry Makita yesterday. He's accusing county commissioners of a bait and switch using voter-approved money from 1A. Last week, commissioners voted to move the Office of Emergency Management out from under the sheriff's umbrella and put it in its own department under their control. The question is if the 1A money can move along with it. News 5's Bill Folsom talked with both sides.
Referring to recent natural disasters, El Paso County commissioners say they've learned emergency management goes beyond response. A majority voted to take the Office of Emergency Management out from under the sheriff's administration.
We run this through legal scrutiny.
Moving the department is legal, but Sheriff Terry Makita says the commissioner's funding plan is illegal.
They're playing a smoke and mirrors game, and they thought I would remain quiet about it.
The question is over 1A dollars. It's a sales tax approved by voters for public safety. The sheriff has dozens of documents showing presentations and emails from commissioners and county staff. He uses it to show his argument that 1A is supposed to be dedicated to the sheriff's office.
The 1A money was for the sheriff's office, not county's responsibilities, not county emergency management. Matter of fact, the word OEM is not even in the ballot language.
The dollars for the Office of Emergency Management under 1A stay with the Office of Emergency Management, regardless of where it resides on the county organizational chart. Those are restricted dollars.
County commissioners say it's money intended for public safety, staying with public safety, no matter who's in charge. They also say this has nothing to do with recent conflict over commissioners saying the sheriff should resign after allegations of improper actions with his staff.
It is not the case that this has just come up or that this is in any way punitive against the sheriff's office.
It's about money, and it's about pushing me out of the way and discrediting me as much as they can. And I'm at the point now, go ahead. You drove me into the dirt. I have nothing to lose.
So he's raising the question to the public. Is this what they intended when voting for 1A? In Colorado Springs, Bill Folsom, News 5 investigates.
The sheriff says the funding part of the OEM change should be approved by the voters. He also says he may consider legal action. Still ahead, police are trying to crack down on panhandling, but it's not the beggars they're going after.
What we like to say is it's okay to say no.
Enjoy this classic sound of time, authentically handcrafted in the tradition of the German Black Forest. And this October, you'll enjoy this sound as you save 40% on any and all new cuckoo clocks. Time is money, and they both sound great at the TikTok shop.
He's invaded our private choices, voted to pollute our public spaces. Now he's in our living rooms, saying things that just aren't true. The wind energy bill Congressman Cory Gardner brags about, deemed useless and repealed. The truth, the billionaire polluter Koch brothers are spending millions to put Gardner in the Senate so he can push their agenda and line their pockets. No limits on pollution, no choice for women. Here's how we stop them. Keep Cory out. Next Gen Climate Action Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
What is an Affordable Dentures moment?
It's when you realize you got your smile back in just one day at a price you didn't think possible. It's knowing you were treated with dignity and respect. For same-day dentures, extractions, and implants, call 1-800-DENTURE or go to affordabledentures.com for valuable coupons. Please don't put this off. You deserve a healthy and beautiful smile.
Legal blocking on the field. It's official. I'm blocking out high prices at DealAndDougAutos.com and offering you incredible deals on everything in stock. The best price, selection, and financing is always at DealAndDougAutos.com. Quality pre-owned vehicles are backed by my Deal and Doug Certified Advantage warranty. Winning deal and deals are at DealAndDougAutos.com. And remember,
nobody beats a Deal and Doug deal. Nobody. And if my grandpa can't meet or beat a bona fide deal, I'll give you the car.
Over the years, Cory Gardner supported 3 personhood amendments to make all abortions illegal. Now he says he's switched positions. But in Washington, Gardner hasn't changed at all. Cory Gardner is still sponsoring a personhood law to make all abortions illegal, even for victims of rape and incest. Look it up yourself. He's saying one thing and doing another. Cory Gardner. You just can't trust him. The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Enjoy this classic sound of time, authentically handcrafted in the tradition of the German Black Forest. And this October, you'll enjoy this sound as you save 40% on any and all new cuckoo clocks. Time is money, and they both sound great at the TikTok shop.
Welcome back. You're taking a look at I-25 out there. Traffic moving along pretty nicely out this morning. Pretty cool morning to your start on Saturday. So if you are up and at it early this morning, make sure you grab a jacket because it is a cool one. Thanks for waking up with News 5 Today Weekend. I'm Greg DeGrando. Let's get to some of the overnight news that we had of a shooting over on Michigan Avenue. Several people are being questioned after that early morning shooting. A female is dead after that shooting in that area. Crime scene tape could be seen in the area, and our reporter at the scene tells us about 10 police cars were there, making sure that everything was locked down. They were interviewing a number of witnesses at the scene as well as collecting evidence. We are following this story closely for you, and we'll bring you any new details as soon as they emerge. Now to your forecast. Meteorologist John Dissauer is here with First Alert 5, and it's a cold one out there, John.
It is a chilly morning across some locations. Other locations down towards Canyon City, for instance, it's actually pretty mild this morning, in the 50s. Take a look at temperatures right now across the area. We're sitting at 52 degrees in Canyon City, 45 degrees in Colorado Springs, but a chilly, if not cold, morning in Pueblo, down to 32 degrees, which, by the way, is the coldest Pueblo has been in over 4 months. Got to go back to May 14th to find a colder temperature in Pueblo. 38 in La Junta, 35 degrees in Lamar. Across Colorado Springs, temperatures not too bad, with the exception of towards Black Forest, where it's a little cooler. 30 degrees there, but 48 at the Air Force Academy, 49 in Peyton, and 46 degrees in Monument. Now, over the state, we've got high pressure beginning to build into the region, keeping skies clear, and we're going to remain clear as we go throughout the day today, so expect to see lots of sunshine. Sunglasses, sunscreen needed through the afternoon. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. By 10 a.m., we'll see temperatures in the 60s to 50s. A little warmer in Colorado Springs. It's going to take a little while for Pueblo to start warming back up. But by noon, we'll see temperatures into the 60s to near 70 degrees in Pueblo. And by 5 o'clock in Colorado Springs, we'll see a temperature of 70 and 75 degrees under sunny skies in Pueblo. We're going to see temperatures topping out in the 70s for the most part today across southern Colorado. A slight dip tomorrow, and then temperatures start going back up before much colder temperatures moving in by the end of next week. We'll talk more about that in detail coming up in a few minutes.
Chilly, but not cold. All right, thanks, John. The cooler temperatures provide a reminder that there are people in our community in need of food, shelter, and warm clothing. But there are also people looking to prey on your generosity, professional panhandlers. News 5's Zach Thaxton explains why when it comes to the season of giving, pass up the panhandlers.
What we like to say is it's okay to say no.
They appear to be the faces of despair and desperation. People on street corners outside shopping centers with cardboard signs asking for anything that helps.
A lot of them are very good at looking sad, or just they prey on that empathy.
Officer Barry Risk with CSPD's downtown area response team says the approach of cold weather and the holiday giving season means it's time for a reminder not to give to panhandlers. Not money, not food, not clothing, nothing.
That money that people give, and even sometimes the food and clothing, etc., typically goes either for alcohol or drug use.
While some are in legitimate need of help, many panhandlers are pros at this, getting enough in handouts to equate to a six-figure tax-free annual income. And yet still others could be downright dangerous.
You just have no idea who this person is. This could be someone who's just passing through. It could be a scam. It could be someone who's dangerous.
Officer Risk says if you do feel compelled to give, donate cash, time, or materials to service providers like the Marion House. In Colorado Springs, Zach Thaxton, News 5 Investigates.
CSPD's homeless outreach team tells us professional panhandlers can easily make as much as $500 per day and drive home to the warmth and shelter of their own actual home. In Pueblo, dozens of homeless veterans gathered for the 16th annual Homeless Veterans Stand Down yesterday. Several agencies teamed up to provide health care assistance, clothes, food, and more, all to give them survival tools as the temps start to drop. Veterans say they left with much more than they bargained for.
People aren't asking you to feel sorry for them, to do anything like that. They just want to be, treated with dignity and respect, and they want to know that when they come here, that they're no different from anybody else.
A total number of 40 veterans came through. Debate number 3 is in the books for Governor John Hickenlooper and his Republican challenger Bob Beaupre. It was held Thursday night in Pueblo. The men discussed issues ranging from the death penalty to the state's economy. On that issue, Governor Hickenlooper argued that the state has improved during his tenure. Beaupre went after the governor for staying the execution of Nathan Dunlap, who was convicted of murdering 4 people at Aurora Chuck E. Cheese. It's been a rough year for the Denver Sheriff's Department with multiple cases of abuse of power. Now a task force says changes should be made to the way deputies are disciplined. That includes steeper penalties for lying or intentionally hurting inmates. The task force also wants to improve investigations into deputy misconduct. The union that represents the department says they're still studying those proposals. The second state to legalize recreational marijuana is now branching out into edible products. The first licensed retailer for edibles in Washington state has just opened. The company has a warehouse where they grow marijuana and produce food products. They even employ a chemist to assure the potency of each product. Right now, they make just a handful of products like lozenges and energy shots. They expect to expand as the business grows. Encouraging news about the state of the U.S. economy. The unemployment rate has dropped to its lowest level in 6 years. On top of that, new jobs numbers came out yesterday showing that U.S. employers added 248,000 jobs in September, about 30,000 more than analysts predicted, helping to lower the unemployment rate to below 6%. However, many are part-time positions, and data shows that the average hourly wage for U.S. workers remains unchanged.
We've still got some more work to do to put in place policies that make sure that the economy works not just for the few, but it works for everybody.
Another important figure to balance out the positive news, there are 3 million people who have been out of work for more than 6 months. And while that number has steadily declined the past 3 years, it's still more than double its pre-recession total. Police in Hong Kong arrested at least 19 people after a group clashed with pro-democracy protesters and attempted to remove them with force. At least 12 others, including 6 police officers, were injured during the scuffles. Police struggled for hours to gain control as attackers pushed and shoved protesters. The violence came after pro-democracy protest leaders called off planned talks with the government on political reforms. Protesters have been in the streets for more than a week. Researchers believe it was a great white shark that attacked a surfer in the waters off of a California Air Force base Thursday. Officials say the 28-year-old man was a government civilian employee at the base, and the shark bit his knee, leaving him with puncture wounds. The man is expected to survive the attack. Researchers estimate the shark was about 8 to 10 feet long. Surf, Wall, and Minuteman beaches are currently closed because of the attack. Still ahead, Sports Director Grant Meach sits down with AFA head coach Troy Calhoun to talk about today's game against Navy.
A chilly morning across southern Colorado, but temperatures warming up nicer than where they were yesterday afternoon. Also lots of sunshine. Your full forecast coming up right after this.
Every day offers another opportunity to pursue your dream. Instead of running past it, find the time to make a plan and then go get it. American Family Insurance will help you protect it. Visit amfam.com to find an agent and get a quote.
Amendment 68, extravagant education claims, but no school district endorsements. 68 backers are playing loose with the truth, forced to pull down several ads, misrepresenting support, using a bogus teacher, earning a cease and desist order. Amendment 68 is not about education. It's a Rhode Island gambling scheme opposed by the Colorado PTA. No on 68. A sweetheart deal for Rhode Island, a bad deal for Colorado.
At B&L Plumbing, we understand that emergencies generally happen at the worst possible time.
Honey, the water's freezing.
I'll call B&L.
That's why we offer emergency service 24/7, 365 days a year at no extra charge.
What was that? I think a pipe just burst. Oh, better call B&L.
And you'll never pay a penny over our written estimate.
How do you spell plumbing? Anyone? 638-7341.
A barbaric terrorist threat met by a respected leader on national security, Colorado's own Mark Udall, Intelligence Committee member, chair of the Committee on Strategic Forces, determined to defeat ISIS with full support for American airstrikes in Syria and Iraq. No wonder military leaders have called him a champion of an effective common-sense approach to fighting terrorism. Mark Udall, Colorado's senator.
I'm Mark Udall, and I approve this message.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a CASA volunteer. I am you.
They say actions speak louder than words, and John Hickenlooper's actions say it all. When he ignored our own Colorado sheriffs on gun control, or as mayor allowed Denver to be a sanctuary city for illegal immigrants, we notice. But when he suggests giving a mass murderer clemency if he loses a political campaign, it's shocking. Colorado has had enough of John Hickenlooper's inaction and failed leadership. It's time for a governor who will act. It's time for Bob Beaupre.
It's the guest bedroom mattress sale at Bob's Discount Mattresses. Get a queen mattress set for the low price of just $2.99. Or buy a Serta iSeries or iComfort set and the queen mattress set is free. Yes, free. Call 265-BOBS or go online for the location nearest you.
Good morning and welcome back. Temperatures this morning on the cool side, although we're going to see temperatures warming quickly as we do have some sunshine across the area, expecting near 100% sunny skies as we go throughout the day. Temperatures currently across Colorado Springs sitting at 45 degrees as of 7 o'clock. So temperatures probably a couple degrees warmer than that now. Notice 48 degrees at the Air Force Academy, a cooler 30 degrees in Black Forest, which got down into the 20s this morning. Even cooler down towards Pueblo, where it's currently 32 degrees. By the way, the coldest temperature in Pueblo since mid-May. 52 degrees though in Canyon City, a little bit of wind helping keep temperatures warmer there. Upper 30s and mid-30s out towards Lamar and La Junta this morning. As I mentioned, sunny skies overhead this morning, and that's going to be the case through much of the day. The cold air from yesterday is now pushed off to the east as the jet stream is now cutting in through the central United States. By the way, I wanted to show you this in the Midwest towards Chicago, reporting light snow this morning, which now marks the snow this morning marks the 3rd earliest snow on record since 1884. Not accumulating snow, but nonetheless, there has been some snow out that direction. No snow for us as we go through the day. As I mentioned, severe clear is what we're expecting by noon. Same story by 3 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock we'll have clear skies around and clear skies going into the evening as well. Your hour-by-hour forecast for Fountain. As we go throughout the day, we'll warm slowly, 58 degrees by 10, eventually up into the low 70s. 71 degrees by 2 o'clock, 70 degrees by 4 o'clock, and if you're heading up to Falcon Stadium for the Air Force Academy game versus the Navy midshipmen, not bad at all. Tailgating weather, sunny skies, 59 degrees, maybe a light jacket needed, 64 by noon. Kickoff is at 1:30, and by 2 o'clock, mostly sunny skies, 68 degrees, and by 4 o'clock, 69. So you're going to want the sunscreen today as well as the sunglasses, as that sun will be pretty bright today. 67 for a high in Woodland Park, 72 in Monument, 73 degrees in Colorado Springs, and 73 degrees in Security. In Pueblo, look for a high temperature of 78 today, 77 degrees out towards Canyon City, and 70 degrees for a high in Beulah. Over the southeast southeastern plains, temperatures approaching the 80-degree mark and 75 degrees for a high in Trinidad. We're going to see temperatures take a little dip tomorrow, just 2 or 3 degrees cooler than today. And then we start warming up early next week. We're going to see temperatures 70s and 80s through much of the upcoming week. But then by Thursday, computer models are suggesting we're going to see colder air moving down. A cold front passes the region. And on Thursday, or I should say Friday, I think we're talking temperatures for highs only in the 40s and perhaps 50s. And with some moisture around, we could be dealing with mostly cloudy skies and a rain-snow mix, especially a chance for some snow in the higher elevations west of I-25. Next 3 days for Colorado Springs and for Pueblo. Again, a little dip on Sunday, but then we start warming back up Monday with highs in the upper 70s to lower and mid 80s. And that trend continues all the way through Wednesday and Thursday. We'll see temperatures dropping just a bit as we'll have a few more clouds around the area and just a small chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm in Colorado Springs. And then notice by Friday, 40s and 50s with about a 30% chance for some rain. Canyon City and Woodland Park as we head through Sunday, 60s and 70s, 70s and 80s for Monday, and then by the end of the week, 40s and 50s. And we could be dealing with some snow perhaps up towards Woodland Park. So we'll keep fine-tuning the forecast for the end of next week. It's not a for sure thing just yet, but something to definitely keep an eye on.
I laughed earlier. You corrected me. You said it was chilly, not quite cold.
I wouldn't say cold. Now,
I was cold this morning.
This morning in Pueblo, 32 degrees. That's going to be colder, but we're sitting in the 40s in Colorado Springs, 50s in Canyon City. Some may say 50s. Think about it, in January when we're in the 50s, people are wearing shorts. So
I think I'm just in a denial. I'm not ready for it to be cold yet. So I'm like, it's
you and a lot of other people, I think, yeah.
All right, thanks, John. Coming up, it's one of the Falcons' biggest games every year, Air Force versus Navy. We have a preview with Coach Calhoun after the break.
At Country Buffet, you can enjoy our all-new individual entrees like our hand-cut steak tips and our slow-roasted barbecued pulled pork. It's all-you-can-eat variety at an incredible dinnertime value. We guarantee you'll love it, or we'll make it right.
We used to drive a Honda Civic.
I love that car.
But after shopping around, we decided to leave our Honda.
For a new Honda.
The Honda Accord, Civic, and CR-V all have fantastic tech features like Bluetooth, rear-view camera, and Pandora. And even better, all that comes standard.
Gotta love technology.
Start something special with the Accord, CR-V, or Civic from Honda. KBB.com's most trusted brand. At your Honda dealer.
This is a story about stories. Stories of health and wellness, to be exact. And how every story is unique. Because every one of us is unique. This is a story of how we connect. With new healthcare teams built around people. In every neighborhood from Durango to Western Kansas, this is a story about how the future of healthcare is built around you. We're Centura Health. The future is inspiring.
It happens like that. The police can't get there in time. Self-defense is up to you when it matters the most. But Mark Udall voted to take away your gun rights. Vote like your safety depends on it. Defend your freedom. Defeat Mark Udall. The NRA Political Victory Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
One more day. One more day to enchant us, amaze us, and make us smile. One more day to remind us that our humanity is defined by how well we treat the lives around us. One more day to make sure there will always be one more day. Go to iwillprotect.org and help Cheyenne Mountain Zoo protect the animals you love.
Who do we want to be today?
Kickboxer.
Fun and flirty.
The intellectual.
Artsy fartsy.
Fashionista.
Serious businesswoman. Where are my pie charts?
Change up your glasses whenever you change up your look. With 2 pairs of glasses for $78 from Eyeglass World. Glasses that make a difference, prices that make it possible.
At Country Buffet, you can enjoy our all-new individual portions, plus all of your favorite all-you-can-eat dinner-time classics. And don't miss the unlimited desserts, like our new Strawberry Trio. We guarantee you'll love it, or we'll make it right.
A big game for the Air Force Falcons today. They're taking on their rivals, Navy. Sports Director Grant Meach sat down with AFA head coach Troy Calhoun for a preview.
Welcome back in on Falcons on 5. Troy Calhoun joining us again. And boy, this week is a special week here at the Academy. It is Navy week here, and all around the city, all around the Academy, you can just feel a very cool vibe going on as you bring in Navy now. Part of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, something I'm still learning about. You've been a part of it for a very long time. Is there anything that's even remotely close to this sort of atmosphere that we'll see this week?
You know, probably not, Grant. I just look, you know, at anytime you have a contest, a game, but ultimately when you realize the participants, the kind of commitment that they're willing to make that goes so far beyond their 4 years in school, or on a court, or on an athletic field, and if they can ultimately graduate, earn the opportunity to go serve as an officer, there is something different. You know, the feeling that's in the air, the kind of passion, and ultimately the kind of mutual respect. And frankly, you never know in 8 years or 20 years where you really are on the same team in something that's real serious at another part of, at another spot on the globe.
That's right. And like you said, in the end, you guys will all be on the same team. But this week, different teams, different uniforms, and we're picking sides. So we bring in Navy now, the midshipmen, typically very good team. Ken Niamatololo, head coach there, has done a fantastic job. But they come in a little bit under the radar this week, losing 2 in a row. You guys have won 2 in a row now. They run the ball incredibly well. I imagine it's a pretty straightforward offensive attack for them.
You know, they're very good. Number 1 in the country running the football. You look because of it, the number of times they have wide receivers that are completely open down the field. You see the way they played Ohio State, where they have a lead heading into the 4th quarter. They rushed for 370 yards against Ohio State. A quarterback last year that set the NCAA record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. Very capable football team.
How do you keep the players' emotions in check this week? Because as you mentioned, it is a very emotional week playing Navy, but you do have to go off and play a football game. They're coming off the big Boise State win, but they need to be focused in. How do you balance that as a coach to keep them excited but also keep them focused?
Well, Grant, I think that I've always felt that enthusiasm is not a shortcoming by any means at all. You know, when you're at the Air Force Academy, just the kind of life that you have, the way you cherish being able to play college football, and most of all, the kind of warrior spirit that you have as a young man or young woman that goes to school here at the Air Force Academy. You know, more than anything else, what we were able to take from our game last Saturday against Boise State, there were some things that we had to make improvement. You know, whether it was in coverage, whether it was in a gap assignment, being cleaner, stronger, more skilled with the football. And then same thing with their special teams. We gave up a big punt return where we're more exact in our lanes. Perhaps that doesn't occur. And so I think so much of your practice time is spent on how do you make those strides? How do you make that growth that I think you have to have, especially as we go into this Saturday?
You mentioned a 3-phase game last week with Boise State, but boy, your defense played almost a 4-phase game. They were exceptional. I imagine you're going to need just that same amount of defensive pressure and presence against Navy this Saturday.
Yeah, it's a different challenge, certainly. You know, as we mentioned earlier, playing this strong of a running football team, and assignment-wise, some things that have to alter. And yet, you know, the eye discipline that's necessary, playing in the secondary, those are going to be key contributing factors, you know, to how well we play today.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Should be a great atmosphere, as it always is here at Falcons Stadium. The Navy week here, as the Falcons take a break from Mountain West play to take on Navy and get one step closer to bringing back that Commander-in-Chief trophy. Troy Calhoun, our guest on Falcons on 5. We're back after this.
John's got a final look at your forecasts after the break. Stay with us.
Have you had a chronic cough that just won't go away? Is your stuffy nose a cold, allergies, or a sinus problem? Let the board-certified allergists at William Storms Allergy Clinic evaluate your condition and get you on the road to recovery, serving our community since 1975.
If we're going to have chicken sandwiches at Culver's, we better have the best. Your chickens are humanely raised, antibiotic-free.
Right.
Why does that make a difference?
Healthy, well-fed chickens have better flavor.
And why is that important to you?
Well, I want the best for my family, just like anyone else.
Our grilled chicken sandwich, plump, juicy, lightly seasoned, hand-cut just for Culver's.
Juicy and delicious.
Culver's chicken sandwiches, from the farm to the family. Welcome to Delicious.
Here are some facts about Amendment 68.
Fact, 68 will provide over $114 million every year to Colorado schools.
Fact, the money will go into a special K-12 fund to be distributed to every state school district.
Fact, the money will come from expanded gaming revenues at a racetrack where wagering already exists. Arapahoe Park will pay 34% of its gaming revenues, double what Colorado's existing casinos pay.
Study the facts and vote yes on 68.
When you want to know how your medication will work. When you want to know if insurance will cover your prescriptions. When you want to know which vitamins are best for you. Answers are as close as your King Soopers pharmacy. Just ask. Your neighborhood King Soopers pharmacist is an experienced professional who takes your health to heart.
Time to get your flu shot? Talk to your certified vaccinating King Soopers pharmacist. Most insurance plans accepted and no appointment needed. Just ask your King Soopers pharmacist today.
Sunday Night Football, your ticket to an AFC showdown. With a three-time Super Bowl champion against a young star determined to stay undefeated. Andy Dalton and the Bengals are out to continue their fast start in Foxborough, where expectations are always high for the Patriots coaching mastermind and his legendary quarterback. Bengals, Patriots, Sunday night is football night, only on NBC.
Introducing the Storms Asthma Center. Find your asthma triggers and get a personalized treatment plan. The Storms Asthma Center can help with testing and treatment techniques not available anywhere else in Southern Colorado. For more information, call Storms Asthma Center today at 955-6000.
America's Got Talent finalist and Monument's own Miguel Dakota is back in town, and he made a surprise visit to his old high school yesterday morning. The homecoming pep rally at Lewis Palmer got a whole lot louder when Miguel showed up. He's a 2010 grad of the high school. Miguel played a few songs at the game last night and escorted a very special girl. The school adopted a Make-A-Wish child, and Miguel crowned her last night as the honorary homecoming queen. Again, that was at last night's homecoming game. John's got one final look at our weather out there. Cool start to our day, but a little warm up for us.
Yeah, we'll probably be a little slow to warm just because we started so cool in some locations down in the low 30s. In fact, you can see what temperatures are like right now across the area. These are the new 8 o'clock observations coming in. So now 39 degrees in Pueblo, but look at Colorado Springs sitting at 54 degrees, 52 in Canyon City, low 40s from La Junta out towards Lamar. As we go through the afternoon, temperatures will be getting up into the upper 60s in the higher terrain of the mountains to 70s, pushing near 80 degrees eventually in Pueblo. And the main story for today is going to be sunny skies across the area. Temperatures much warmer as compared to yesterday. So a little closer look at the forecast for today. Woodland Park 67, but 62 degrees in Cripple Creek, 72 degrees at the Air Force Academy. So it should be a beautiful afternoon for some football today against when they played Navy at kickoff at 1:30. Briargate 72 degrees, 73 degrees in Security. Pueblo West today seeing a high temperature of 78, 73 degrees down towards Colorado City and over the southeastern plains. Temperatures pushing near 80 degrees this afternoon. So bottom line today, lots of sunshine, temperatures much warmer than yesterday. You're going to notice a big difference, I think. And then we're going to see temperatures fall maybe a degree or two for tomorrow.
Yeah, nice for people like me who don't exactly like the cold weather. Nice to see the temperatures heading up a little bit. We don't want to get too cold just yet.
Yeah, you don't want that just yet, but the big swing in temperatures between morning and afternoon.
All right, well, thanks, John. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a great Saturday.
Your local Ford stores have teamed up with News 5 to bring you closed captioning. Get quality, safety, and big MPGs in your next vehicle. Get Ford and go further.
Tear up department store prices. Make your fall fabulous for less at Gordman's. Save up to 60% off department store prices every day. Hurry in now while quantities last.
Gordman's, something unexpected. He's invaded our private choices, voted to pollute our public spaces. Now he's in our living rooms, saying things that just aren't true. The wind energy bill Congressman Cory Gardner brags about deemed useless and repealed. The truth, the billionaire polluter Koch brothers are spending millions to put Gardner in the Senate so he can push their agenda and line their pockets. No limits on pollution, no choice for women. Here's how we stop them. Keep Corey out. Next Gen Climate Action Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's the guest bedroom mattress sale at Bob's Discount Mattresses. Get a queen mattress set for the low price of just $2.99. Or buy a Serta iSeries or iComfort set and the queen mattress set is free. Yes, free. Call 265-BOBS or go online for the location nearest you.
Up to the second news that impacts your day. Follow KOAA on Twitter.
When you're up in outer space and searching for the greatest place where everyone's a friendly face, Astroblast!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here is your crew. Sputnik, Haley, Radar, Jet, Sal, and Comet.
Astroblast!
I love my little tree with peaches, oh so yummy. It's small and green like a Plufitasian's tummy. I don't really care if you say he's a tree. My Zorkian peach buddy is best friends with me. Yeah!
Okay!
All right! And since you've probably never met a Zorkian peach tree before, I want you all to meet Zorky. Say hi, Zorky. Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi, Zorky. Hi, Zorky. He's a cutie. I can't believe I'm waving to a plant.
But can someone please help us? Sputnik is going on an errand for a couple of days, and we need someone to take care of me. I wish I could, Sputnik, but today I've got a bunch of deliveries to make. Oh, Jet? I see. Your Fweasel clock broke and you need to fix it. Radar?
Nope.
Oh, are you, busy with something?
Nope.
Oh, all right. Comet, do you think you could?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Great! So I'm gonna be on Upsilon 3 for a couple of days. I'll tell you exactly what you have to do to take care of Zorky here.
No problem. I'm ready.
Thanks, Comet. You're a real peach. Did you hear what I just said, Zorky? I called him a real peach. Okay, so I give Zorky 3 spoonfuls of water a day.
3 spoonfuls. Got it.
This is his food. I give him 1 drop of food a day, usually at night, before he goes to sleep.
Sleep. Got it.
Do you want to, I don't know, maybe write this down?
No need. It's all right up here in the old noggin. 3 spoons of water, 1 drop of food. See?
Okay. So here's his heat lamp. Don't put him under here for too long, though, since this kind of tree grows really fast.
Heat, grow, got it.
Take him with you for